what's up, everybody? We're back. Horror Flick Chicks here for another episode of the Horror Flick Chicks podcast. And
Hello.
we are again recapping season 2 of The Last of Us. We are on episode 5 today, entitled Feel Her Love. A lot of stuff going on in this episode. So we're gonna get right into it. The episode opens up with two members of the Wolves in like a conference room meeting. One of them was detailing, I guess, to it seemed like maybe a commanding officer or somebody about a mission that she was on. And long story short, she said that they had to barricade a bunch of their people in like this area where when they realized that the infection was airborne.
The spores.
Yeah, the spores were everywhere and they were breathing it in and it's become airborne. So they had to lock a bunch of their people in this space so it
Hmm.
wouldn't get out and infect, a whole lot of them and a whole lot of other people.
It was like a basement, wasn't
And
it?
one, yeah, it was,
It was in the
yeah,
basement of,
like,
yes.
Yeah.
one of the floors of the hospital that we'll talk about. Yeah, but and one of the people that they had to lock in was her. She also said so.
Yeah.
It was a sad moment. That's where it starts off right in the beginning. After that, they roll right into Ellie and Dina. Dina, well, both of them are trying to set up or figure out a plan of attack to get into to the hospital. Because again, they're trying to find the wolves that are responsible for killing Joel. Um, Ellie is trying to get Abby and her crew, and so they're trying to get to the hospital to try and to find them and find, see if they can get to them from there. Um, they eventually get there. Dina formulates a plan, or she's been monitoring the
Yeah.
patrol
Yeah.
Yeah.
in different areas of the area where they are, like to get to the hotel, sorry, to the hospital. And she figures out a strategy, figuring out when they come and go and the times and things like that. They eventually get there. Once they get into one of the areas of the hospital, they realize that they find one of those smart infected.
Hmm.
We saw one of them in the supermarket a couple episodes back that chased Ellie in the supermarket, and they realized that they're like thinking now and making plans
Yeah.
now and formulating.
And they take a long time to get killed.
Yeah, so
It
it
takes
well
a lot.
because they're
They're getting
more
stronger.
they're
It's like,
stronger and
Yeah.
smarter. I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
so um they see one and trying to plan an attack, and not long after that they realize there's more than one. They see another one, and then
I
they see
knew I
another
knew it
one,
too.
and then there was four, and then there was six, and then there was eight, all over the place. So, Ellie's plan is there's a little like uh uh gated little,
It was like a cage that,
like a cage, like a
yeah.
like electrical cage or
Yeah,
something.
protected like an electrical unit on
Yeah,
the
when it
wall.
was covered by like a cage, right? Like an
Yeah. Yeah.
electrical cage, and an iron cage. And
Mhm.
Ellie tells Dina, because obviously Dina's pregnant and she's trying to save, and Dina's not immune, right?
Yeah,
Uh
that too.
Ellie is immune, so she's like, I can take a lot. She tells her like, I can take bites, like a lot of bites. I'll be okay. But you have to get over there and stay safe and the baby or whatever. So on the count of three, and after that, things move quick.
I was
Mhm.
like, she was, yeah, she did say she wanted to protect Dina and all that, but I was like, damn, yeah, you could take a lot of bites, but you could also get killed, dude.
Right. No, of
Yeah.
You
course.
need to,
Of course, but
but I
we
get it.
we
Get
I
it.
right, we get it. And of course, throughout the series, we've seen and we know that Ellie is very, um, she's become very fearless in a lot of aspects, and she's also
Mhm.
very brave,
Yeah, I mean, she's out for
and
revenge.
she's a leader, and right, that also, she's out for revenge, and I think that's the motivation that's driving her to
Mhm.
just like, we gotta do this, and I'm gonna take whatever hits I gotta take so we can get to what we have to get to
Yeah.
because I'm determined to get these people. Yes,
Mhm.
definitely. She's being led by the revenge and the rage that she has.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Dina goes to this cage, she locks herself in, closes it up, and all these infected pretty much swarm Ellie. She's shooting at them. Uh Dina in the cage even because they're jumping on the cage too. She's shooting at the cage all over. And a bunch of them jump on Ellie. So I'm sure she got bit a bunch of times. They didn't show it, but I mean,
They showed it once. They did show it once. They showed how she had the bite and Dina saw it. She saw her, get bitten up. And now is the time where she's like, hold up, wait a minute.
right,
So, of course, they get into a safe space, and then Dina is just like, all right, I really know what you're thinking right now. Like you probably think, that I'm gonna turn into one of them because now Dina has a gun pointed at her and she's just like ready to go, like trying to not like make, have Ellie come near her. So Ellie is just like trying to convince her, and then she's like, oh, basically like I have to tell her I have to tell her what I am. So, she admits to her that she cannot sort of that
Yeah.
she's that person that everybody has been looking for.
Oh
Um,
yeah. She already
and
knows. She
yeah,
already
she knows
knows.
that from the last,
In
yeah,
the
she knows that from the
episode,
last episode, so she
she
remembers,
already.
she knows that, but still, she's still like, she loves her, and she's doesn't want, she knows that she can take a lot of it, but still, she doesn't want her to. She
right.
loves her. But once it gets to a point where you think like all hope is lost, that Dina's a goner, that Ellie's a goner, because I was really nervous. It was like they were getting swarmed.
Yeah.
And you hear shots and the infected just falling.
Hmm.
Somebody shooting at them, essentially saving them.
Yeah.
So it has to be somebody you would think is a good person,
Yeah.
either
I
somebody they
called it.
know,
I called it too.
Yeah.
either somebody they know or somebody that's just a good person that's helping them.
Yeah.
And then we see that it is Jesse. So we find out that Jesse and Tommy found out that Ellie and Dina left to
And they've
go
been
on.
trying to look for them. Yeah.
Yeah, they left to go on this mission to find these wolves
Yeah.
to get their revenge.
That was bound to happen.
Right. And then they went out looking for them and they split up, but Jesse found them and he shot the infected and got them out of there. Um, but because they were all shooting in the area, the wolves were not stationed far away. So they talked about right before this whole thing happened, shooting was the last thing to do because they didn't want to get the attention of the wolves to come there. But
Right.
of course, they didn't have a choice the way they were getting
Hmm.
like swamped. So they ran out of the place and they as soon as they did, sirens, lights, everything, while they were running away, getting shot at, they run into like this wooded area trying to get away. And
I kept thinking these wolves have really bad aim. Like there's so
really,
many of them. I
Right.
mean,
and nobody
granted,
even got right. Nobody even got like a little
a
nick or
graze or anything. I was like,
I
there's
know.
three of them, and they're good, so like soldiers, so to speak. But there's a
There's
lot for you wolves. Like you should have been able to like nick one of them. I don't know.
right. I
Bad,
agree.
bad shots.
I agree. I agree. I feel like a lot of these kind of shows are like that. when they have like
Yeah, I mean,
you know
you can't
militias or
knock them off,
armies
but
like chasing them and stuff, and then they miraculously get away with no
I
injuries,
know.
and it's I know I agree, I agree,
Yeah.
Anyway,
but anyway, so while they're like walking into in these wooded areas, Jesse's telling them that he came out with Tommy looking for them, and they split up to cover more ground. They even asked if Tommy is okay, and he said, I don't know, because we split up. So we're supposed to meet up, and so they're going through these wooded areas, and then they let's see. So there was a moment when I don't remember if they were with Jesse at the moment. I think they were. They were, yes, they were in the woods, and then they came across a bunch of people in the woods seemed to be doing like a ritual, and it was the Seraphites,
yes,
the religious group. Um,
yes, they were all together.
yeah, they were all together. So they did see them, and they were watching them, and they had somebody strung up, and it was a wolf that they caught,
Actually.
and uh they basically were meant, or were there to cleanse them of sin. And the way they did that was hanging them and gutting them. And that was just
Yes, very
Awful.
yikes.
gory.
Yikes.
Awful.
Um,
Those religious ones,
yeah. I mean,
You gotta watch those.
gotta watch them.
so yeah, so that was pretty brutal.
And then they were being chased by them.
And then they were noticed, and then they started our crew, Ellie and Dina and Jesse, started getting chased by them.
Yeah.
So do they run into another part of the hospital?
Yeah.
Yes, it's
Right.
another area in that
Well, no,
building.
they make it to the hospital this time because they weren't in the hospital.
Yeah,
I
they can. It's
Sorry.
inside
Right, they were in
the
another
building.
area before. So they make it to the hospital now. And Ellie runs into Nora.
Hmm.
Nora was one of Abby's crew, the wolves, and she notices her, and she confronts her, and she has a gun to her and telling her, oh, asking her, where's Abby? Like I'm looking for Abby. And Nora's trying to like, kind of like, mess with her mind a little bit, I think.
Like, yeah, totally. Just
You
kind of
know,
trying to act like she sympathizes with her.
yeah, and she's like,
She's like got crocodile dial tears.
yeah, like you
know.
shouldn't. I wish you didn't see that what
It must have
happened.
been really hard for you. So she was,
And even saying that she didn't like what happened the way it happened, like it was really bad. And
Mm-hmm.
and this was all just to get Ellie to try to get her guard down,
Oh yeah.
right?
but
Oh
you know
yeah.
what? It worked. It worked because she
Yeah. Yeah.
totally was, Ellie was laser focused until she started talking like that, and she kept telling her to stop, and she kept on.
And she did start to tell her, well, she did tell her also that Joel, about what Joel did.
Well, she did that after, right, towards the right. So we'll get there. So at that moment, um, Nora was, I think she was cleaning because she was like helping a wounded the person, she was it seemed like she was in the sink area cleaning. She had like some cleaning fluid or something, and she was cleaning something or disinfecting something.
Mhm.
And while she was kind of talking to Ellie and telling her, you shouldn't have seen that. I wish that didn't happen. I didn't like the way that happened, blah, blah, blah. And you could see Ellie kind of, letting her guard down.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Um, and that's all she needed. Because as soon as she did that, she took the little basin of stuff, a cleaning solution, and threw it at her face. And she ran. And after that, it was a chase to the hospital. Ellie was running after Nora. Nora was screaming, "There's an intruder!" And when she sees her people, she's like, "Shoot her, shoot her!" And they're shooting her. Another group of soldiers that missed her,
Yeah.
like you were
There was
saying.
only and there was only a few of them. I thought there was
Yeah,
more.
I know.
Like where was everybody?
I don't know.
I didn't get that. But
But so they, running, running. Nora's trying to get away. She comes to this like a dead end
yeah,
in the
dead
hospital
end
that's like
area.
boarded up,
Mm-hmm.
and she's right next to her. There's an elevator shaft. It's a little bit open. She opens it in and gets in on. She's standing on top of an elevator, and the elevator falls. Ellie goes in too and tries to get her. She climbs down it while these soldiers are after her, shooting after her.
Yeah.
They do show a moment where Nora looks, she gets down to a certain floor and she looks in the floor and she's
Like she knows.
like she knows what's there,
Yeah.
right? She knows what's there, but she also knows that if she stays where she is, Ellie's gonna come and kill her. She
Yeah.
has to try and run. So
Mhm.
Ellie goes down there too and she goes to the same place. While Ellie's searching for her, what we find, it is
Mhm.
let's see, I wrote it down. Let's see. So they get down the elevator shaft and they get to a lower floor and it's covered with the vines,
The
the
court, yeah.
cordyceps,
Hmm.
the fungus
Mhm.
of the cordyceps. It's all over the place. There's even little floaties in the air, little things around. We already heard that this thing is is airborne.
Yep.
But obviously Ellie is immune, so she's not thinking about that.
That's
She
crazy.
hears something and on one of the walls, she walks and she sees one of them attached to the fungus. And well, the fungus is attached to them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
They're
they
stuck.
are, yeah, they're stuck and they're coughing. And every time they cough, the spores come out.
Right.
And it's just lingering in the air. And she turns another
Think
corner.
New York City subways during COVID.
New York City subways now.
Now,
I mean,
yes.
all the time.
All the time. Exactly. You're
We're
just,
just
oh God.
we're like Ellie, we're immune.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We've
At
lived
this
it too
point.
long. We're
And
immune.
we drank that New York City water when we were kids in the
Yeah.
Yeah,
plant.
that was the best water, by the way. That's how they make bagels, the best bagels ever. Anyway, um, so she turns another corner and there's another one attached to the wall, coughing up the spores. Turns another corner, another one attached to the walls, coughing, like it's everywhere.
Just a
She
mess.
finally turns another corner and she finds Nora. She's like stuck at this corner, like laying down coughing, and she tells her, like, basically, we're done. It's in the air. We've breathed it. We're infected. And while she's hacking up and coughing, and of course, she doesn't know yet about Ellie. And Ellie's just like, "Where is Abby?" And she looks at her and she says, "Oh, you're her. You're the one we've heard of about."
Yeah.
And this is where Nora decides to tell Abby, to tell Ellie
Yeah.
what Abby did, why Abby did what she did. Do you know what Joel did? Joel killed all these people in the hospital, including the only person that could have used
Tape.
you
Yeah.
That
to
could have
make a
saved
cure
everyone. Yeah.
for this whole thing and save everyone. And that was Abby's father.
Yeah.
So trying to kind of give Abby like
Because what else she's gonna do? She has
give her
that's
a
the only thing
reason.
that she can.
She was getting revenge
Mm.
for Joel killing her father. Ellie didn't give a shit. She picks up a pipe and she's like, "Where's Abby?" And she just keeps crushing her on the legs or her knees or something. She's knocking, knocking, knocking. It was very, very brutal.
Yeah.
Even without them really showing it, because they didn't show
They didn't
her,
really show. They showed like
No,
they
they
really.
showed
didn't
her
show it.
they show her
Yeah.
raising it up and knocking it, but they didn't show Nora. They showed Nora screaming and crying and whatever, but they didn't show her getting her knees getting like blown up or her legs getting blown up
No, it was
from the
vaguely
from the
at
hits
one
and
point
stuff.
they showed a glimpse of it, but not
Right.
fully not
But
fully
it
on.
was I nonetheless I think the
Yeah,
scene
it
was
was still
very it proved this point. Like
mm-hmm,
we
mm-hmm,
know what was going on and we felt it
mm-hmm. Yeah.
and it was hard, you know. I felt a little bad for Nora
Yeah, I know, me too.
because obviously I think when she told and earlier when she told Ellie when she was telling her I'm sorry that you had to see that and also I wish it didn't happen like that. I wish it didn't. I believed her. I don't think that she really wanted that to happen the way it did.
I don't think anybody
Any of them.
No,
Right.
because they were also, if you remember, to that episode too, was that they were all just kind of like, just like don't do this, and they were kind of
yeah.
No, yeah,
already thinking that they wanted to dissuade Abby from like even finding Joel. So the fact that
right.
he was there was like a shock to everybody. And they were really, I mean, everybody was shocked by that violence, right? Like
Yeah,
it was obviously really, really personal to Abby.
yeah,
And to everyone else, they could understand her pain, but also they just figured that that might not be worth it because, at this point, look at the world that you're living in, and despite like whatever the reasons might have been for Joel to do that, I think it was just the others just kind of felt like, oh, let's just like leave this alone, like,
yeah,
maybe
Yeah.
skip him or something.
right.
But yeah, I agree with that. I don't think that she necessarily, but I will say that, because she knew that she was dying anyway, and the fact that she proceeded to be a little bit cruel to Ellie is still like it's a real it's I wouldn't even call it a gut punch. It's worse than a gut punch, to like the thing is yeah, like just thinking about like that kind of abuse, it's like the worst abuse is mental abuse, because there's
Yeah.
no way you could stop that. Like pain, physical pain is physical pain, but like that sort of that it just seemed really, really, really cruel to
Well,
me.
she was definitely trying to get in her head.
Yeah.
Right.
You
I
know,
mean,
that's the
and
only
I
way,
mean, it wasn't until like Ellie was like, I can make this easy for you, I can make it worse,
Right.
Um,
At the end of the day, Ellie was being driven by her rage
Yeah, it
and
didn't
her
matter.
anger and her revenge because she
yeah.
kept asking her, "Where's Abby?" And all Nora said was no.
Yeah.
And she just kept hitting her and hitting her. Every time
Can
she
I
said
just
it,
go
she kept
back
hitting
to
her.
the
Like,
like the emotional part of Ellie though? Like just recalling like when she was on the stage in that theater and
yeah,
she was singing the song, and like that sort of moment where she's like she starts to sing the song and the first words are, if I ever lose you, and then she just
yeah.
kind of like
She just stopped.
she just stops, she pauses, and she's kind of like deep in her thoughts and her memories. And like Ellie is just really like she needs a lot of therapy right now.
It was kind of a sweet moment because
Yeah.
it was right that scene was right after she had the little scene, the quick scene with Dina when she was trying to
Tina, right.
set up her
Yeah.
So like
plan.
it's
And
like
obviously Ellie, I mean, she hasn't said it, but obviously Ellie loves her.
she
Yeah.
And
loves her and she already lost someone she really loved.
well, she was talking to when they were talking, and then Dina said was just in regular talk about what was going on. She was like, I love you, Ellie, but whatever. And then she goes, you love me? And she's like, and she tried to kind of say something too. And Dina was just like, I know, like it's. So
Yeah,
then when
because
she
it's hard for
goes,
her to bring her to like, share her emotions like that.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, we see that, and I'm just kind of like, those moments of like emotional, like, those emotional moments are like so like beautiful and sincere throughout this series. Um, and so I don't know, I just wanted to like note that scene particularly in the theater where she's singing the song.
Yeah.
What was the name of the
She
episode
was
again?
like singing. It was like at first it was like she was singing to Dina, but then when she actually said the words,
Right.
I felt like she was thinking about Joel, and then she couldn't continue because she doesn't want to lose Dina, but she actually lost Joel. So it was like
Hmm.
it was hard for her. It
The
was
name
sad,
of this
sad for
episode,
her.
Sonia, are you asking? Or
What was the name of the episode again?
this one?
Feel her love.
Feel Her Love, yeah.
Yeah.
But I was kind of confused. So, I what is the is are your thoughts on that? Because I thought it was really like focused on the cult following and the
Yeah.
right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It
But
has.
it could also mean like feel her love,
I mean,
Dina's
right.
love, feel her love, a
True.
mother's love, because Dina's, about to become a mother. So it could kind of like,
It can mean it could
expansive.
be yeah. It could be pointed in different areas or
That's
different
true.
directions.
I mean, I took it right away as part of the Seraphites thing because
That's what I took.
they kept
Yeah.
talking about her and like, like you feel her. They kept saying that in the last couple episodes. And even at some point when when Dina and Ellie were trying to get to the hospital, they passed by this area and they had a wall. There was a bunch of them dead. They were all like
Yeah,
shot.
yeah,
And on the wall is that feel her love.
yeah.
So it definitely had a main part to do about that, but of course, also it could also mean the love between Ellie and Dina as well.
Hmm.
So definitely, definitely two meanings there. So real quick, we we find all this out about Ellie and Nora with their little interaction. The infection is airborne now. We know this, and we get to the end of the episode, and Ellie is in her bed or in a bed sleeping, and then she wakes up and Joel walks in her room and he says, "Hello, kiddo." And he says hi. She says hi, and the episode ends.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if that means that maybe Ellie maybe passed out and she's dreaming
I
at
don't,
that moment.
So I have a feeling the next episode is going to be Joel flashbacks. So I think that
I
she
do too.
passed
it is.
out.
I believe so
I
too.
think she's passed out, and I think the next episode
Yeah.
we'll get to see Joel.
That's what my thought
I,
was, that she passed out and
I,
she's having like visions of him. And
yeah.
it wasn't gonna be
I
working
just
out,
took
right?
it like what she was doing and everything she was doing, whatever happened, happened. And it's done and she's sleeping. It's like nighttime. This in my head, I was thinking, it's nighttime, she's sleeping, and now she's dreaming, and he shows up in the dream because because in her mind, she is starting to avenge him. So now he's showing up
Yeah,
in her
that makes
dreams.
sense.
So that's how I took it.
I think so
So,
too.
but definitely agree, and I'm pretty sure that the next episode is gonna be Joel flashback episode.
Well, yeah, and I did say after episode 2 when he was gone, I said, "I'm this is not gonna be the
Yeah,
last we
we
see
talked
him.
about that.
We're gonna see there's gonna be at least one or two episodes, I'm sure, in this season where we're gonna see Joel again as like either in a dream or in flashbacks or something like that." So I was
Mhm.
waiting for this. There was no way they could just get rid of him like that.
So early
So
and not
there's
bring it
so
back.
much that between episode 1 and 2
Hmm.
that they didn't that we didn't see, because remember it skipped like I think like 5 years or
It was
6 years.
5 years.
And so there's a lot of stuff in between that we don't know what happened between them. So we're gonna
Yeah.
have to see that. So
Hmm.
I'm glad that they're doing that, and I'm glad that we're gonna be able to see that, and you
And can
know
I just mention one thing? We've been talking about how that we we'll say it again that we're not gamers, so we're not familiar with the game like that, but we're just watching the show as like it's just a show. And so in apparently in the second part or portion of the game, it is very evident that the spores are airborne. So all
Yeah.
the characters walk around with gas masks on the whole time.
Oh, right.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so they obviously took it out of the show because you can't have the characters walking around with gas masks. We would never hear what they say. We can never see their
Yeah. So for
faces
the rest of
and stuff.
this,
They
yeah,
can't
for the rest
really
of the,
do it.
yeah,
So they decided to show the airborne spores in a more contained place.
environment.
That's why they did it like
Yeah.
that, like in a basement, sealed off type thing.
Right. That
So
Right,
must have been like hard for them to figure that out.
right.
Um,
I thought
but
it
it's
was really good
true, like
the way they did that and had it closed off, like because it really wasn't anywhere until they got down there and you can see everything.
yeah,
Like you didn't see that around everywhere,
yeah.
even
and it's
upstairs
like
when they were
the
upstairs.
basement's
So
basement. It's like really subterranean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like
yeah,
really down
The
there.
hospitals have those like
yeah.
real kind of underground type
Well, because they have
floors because
morgues
they
and
have,
they
yeah, I was
have
gonna say, yeah,
those
so
places that are like below,
disposal places
yeah.
like where they have
Ugh, the
the
morgues. Oh my
toxic
God, I
things and
can't.
whatever. So, but
Right.
Scary.
Well, another great episode. I would like to mention, by the way, Nora, who was played by Tati Gabrielle. I didn't realize this in the last couple episodes, but I was looking at her for this episode and I said, "Oh, she looks really
she looks
familiar."
familiar, you know.
So I looked her up and she plays Marianne on You.
Oh
And
yeah.
yes, she played Marianne on the last
Right.
season of You. The newest season that just came out, season 5, is the last season, and I finished it, and it was phenomenal. So if you guys haven't seen it,
I gotta watch
watch
it.
it. And she's back in this episode too. I mean, back in this season too, and it was
Okay.
great.
Okay.
So I
Okay,
saw
okay.
that
So
and I
that's
was like,
that.
oh, I she looks kind of familiar. I said, she
Yeah.
kind of looks like this girl, and I looked her up. So it's the
Oh,
Oh,
same
good.
cool.
actress that plays her. So I thought that was
Right.
pretty cool. So
Good
yeah,
one.
if you guys are a fan of also, I know we're talking about The Last of Us, but if you guys are a fan of the show You, and you haven't seen the last season, watch it. That's all I'm gonna say.
I could never get into that show, I have to tell you. But
Okay.
Oh,
anyway,
oh, Angie, you, it, very good.
isn't
Anyway,
it about stalking? I've had enough of that in my life.
Yeah, but
it is.
it gets all over the place. It's yeah,
Yeah,
you it's
it's
like you
good.
gotta
It's good. It's good.
watch it.
Really?
It's a good
All
see.
right.
It's a good show to binge. It's five seasons now.
Hmm.
It's over now.
Hmm.
Okay.
It's good.
I will have to catch that on top of all the other shows I have to
I
catch.
know. It's good
Anyway,
stuff.
thank you guys again for tuning in to our podcast. Again, these are recaps of The Last of Us season 2. We will be back next week with season 2, episode 6, and we hope you guys are joining us for that episode too. We are the Horror Flick Chicks, and of course, you can find us here on the Horror Flick Chicks channel on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe and follow us. We are also on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and TikTok. Horror Flick Chicks. So make sure you find us and follow us on those social media platforms. Our podcast is also available on several audio streaming platforms. So make sure you look for us and like and follow and subscribe. And yeah, thanks again for following us and watching our episodes. We hope to see you back next week. As always, we love you guys. This is Sandra, Sonia, and Angie, Heart Flick Chicks, signing out. And hopefully we'll see you next week. Peace, love, and
Yeah.
horror.
Peace.
Bye.
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 That's the end.